So today's video, this is a use your craft stash. This is one of those videos where I'm trying to use things that I've not used before. So I created this. Hopefully you've seen this video already. If not, if you want to see how I made this, this is a background I made on a video that I put up the other day. And this is the elf legs stencil from Skull and Crossbuns, and it's just done with sparkle medium, bright red, sage green. So I thought that would look really good chopped down the middle, because this took quite a lot of effort, so I wanted 2 for 1. So I'm thinking I can use both sides of this, chop it down the middle, and that would give me a sort of slimline size. And I've got this slimline punch board. It's a We Are Memory Keepers one, and I got it for a really good price on Create and Craft when I think they were stopping stocking We Are Memory Keepers. But it's the We Are Memory Keepers, and it's the Slimline, what's it called? The Slimline punch board. So this is the card size that it makes, and look, it just kind of perfectly fits. So I just pulled some red and green card out of my stash that's been sitting in there for ages. I thought I'd have a go, make a slimline card and an envelope. And me never having used my punch board before, I want to show you this because this is the lesson to learn. Don't do what the instructions say. The instructions say punch and rotate. If you punch and rotate, you get this. This does not work. So I used one of my, this is a really old set of papers, and it's only paper. It's just nice envelope weight actually, but it's a Do Crafts Back to Basics one from a few years ago. And I did what it said and then realised, no, that's very wrong. It's not score and rotate, it's score and flip it over. So if you do what it said, if you do rotate paper and repeat steps 2 and 3, it doesn't work. You have to flip it over. And if you do that, I learnt my lesson and went and did it on a piece of copy paper. And if you do that, you get a nice mini slimline sized envelope as well. So that's what we're using. But I thought I'm going to pre-colour all of this and then you can just watch me make it. So this is Skull and Crossbones. It's a little elf stamp. I'll link it if Emily's got it in stock. I'll link it. It'll probably be on a wood mounted block. Mine, I think I've said before, mine all came in mixed bags. If she's got any of those, I'll link them as well. But I can't guarantee you'd get this in one of her mixed bags. But she does wood mounted rubber stamps. And how cute is he? So I stamped him. And I have got footage of me colouring him, but I think I'll pop it on Instagram. So if you want to see me colouring him in, I'll pop him on my Instagram account. So I'm Handmade in Windsor Lab on Instagram. But I only used 4 colours of pens. So I just wanted to show you how good the Spectrum Noir pens are. If you're a beginner, I'm not an expert alcohol marker colour by any stretch, but look how cool they are. That's just with 4 alcohol markers. So I used, this is the dark red blend. Dark red blend did all the reds. Obviously a fur skin blend because he's quite pale, but they do all the skin blends. So that's the fur skin blend on him. And then for all the yellows on him, that's all from the gold yellow blend. And that happens to be in the brush just because that's the difference in the barrel colours, in case you're wondering. The black barrels, they've got a bullet nib, and then the grey barrels, they've got a brush nib. And that's the only difference. And then the green is all in the Alpine Green blend. So yeah, so with 4 markers, obviously there's 3 colours in each, but the majority of these were only using 2 colours, the green and the red. I used 3, but I think for most of it I was only using 2 colours most of the time, and it's just whether I went for the darker 2 or the lighter 2. So I'm going to fussy cut this out because he's going to stand nicely, I think, in the middle of my little matching elf legs. So the little feet and stripy legs kind of match perfectly because of course these are from the same company. And there's a little sneak peek of something that's coming on my next card, I think. So I'm going to get on and put a card together with all these things, and hope you like it. So first up, I'm going to make my card blanks, and to do the mini slimline, which is the size I'm going for, I need 7 inches by 6 inches. So I'm going to cut one from green and one from red. So I've got my 7 by 6 cardstock, and with this scoreboard, it says card score line, so you just need to pop it in there and score. Then hopefully, if I've done everything right, I've got my mini slimline card. So you don't need the scoreboard to do that. This is just 7 by 6 and score it at 3.5. So you end up with a mini slimline that's 3.5 by 6 inches tall. And of course, if you've got stencils, most stencils, not all, but most are 6 inches tall, so they fit this sort of size card. And while we've got the scoreboard, I think I'll make some envelopes as well. I think I've used loads of this paper, by the way. This isn't new. I have used loads of bits and pieces of it over the years. So this one, the peppermint, I thought was lovely. And I'm thinking, actually I might save the peppermint because I've got a peppermint stencil, haven't I, coming up, if you've been watching my other videos. So I think we'll save the peppermint, and because I know I'm not likely to use this big word paper, I'm going to have a go at making one out of that, and then the green just sort of thought it went. So I know it's different shades of green, but it's the envelope, so it doesn't really matter. So to make a mini slimline envelope, I need to cut this down to 9 by 9. And this is where I went wrong on my first attempt at making it. So what you do is you put your paper in the top corner, and as you can see, I've not made that many, I've still got my instructions sitting to the side. I'll link this in probably on Amazon, because I know they stock We Are Memory Keepers. So make sure you slid up into this top corner, and then use your little blade. I forgot to get this out. And pop this piece out. And then you score on the envelope score lines. And this is where I went horribly wrong. The instructions clearly say repeat, rotate and repeat. But if you rotate and repeat, it comes out horribly wrong. You need to flip. You need to flip it over, which good sense was telling me that that was what I needed to do. But of course, trusting We Are Memory Keepers, I didn't do that. And then you do the same thing, you score. Now that one's already been scored, okay? So now you do the same on the bottom 2 corners. So you do it once on the right side and once on the wrong side. So it's flip and rotate. So this time, this one's already been scored, so I only need to do the horizontal one. And then flip, pop it back in the corner. And I'm just going to make sure my score line does, yeah, my score lines do all go. So you only actually need to score twice and cut 4 times. So now I've got, and if I thought about it, I would have thought about which way up the writing would end up, but I didn't. So I can stick that one so that it would slide in that way, and then the writing would be the right way up. So let's do another one. So I've got my 2 little cards, 2 little envelopes, all ready to go. So now I'm just going to use my cutter to trim down my elf legs. So, like I said, because this is a 6x6 stencil, it should fit perfectly on my 6 by 3.5 inch mini slimlines if I cut it right down the middle. So I'm just going to fussy cut my little elves out. Now I've got two choices, I think. Because of the size of my panel, and if I sort of make the border right on 3 sides, and he would sit in there, I think I could either cut my card down so that I could cut this edge off so it was exactly on the panel and the envelope would just be, you know, a little bit big. Or I'm thinking to tie in with the black outline on my elf and to lift him so he doesn't get quite so lost, I think. I'm thinking maybe we could put him like here and put a strip down and yeah, maybe a strip across. I'm just having a little think about how to do it. So I'm going to have a play, see what design I can come up with. So after going off and cutting strips out of black, I think I've changed my mind, which, you know, we're crafters, that's what we do. I'm still debating putting a black strip behind him. But, so on my pegboard I have some of the IKEA pots, and I think these are the Tailored Expressions ones that you can cut out, stamp and cut out loads of greetings all in one go. So that's all these are. I'll link them down below if I can find them anywhere. And I'm thinking the black stamping is probably just enough to tie, and on the white is probably just enough to tie in with him. And I don't think he gets that lost. Though I have even debated doing that, but I don't think I like the legs on the sides. I like them this way up. So I think I am just going to go with it and pop it in the middle. And I could put a 1/2 inch strip down each side. Oh, decisions. What do I think? I don't think I've got another one. Of course, sorry, 1/4 inch strip. I cut them to 1/2 inch. Of course I did. So I haven't got enough. So I'm thinking something like that. And then just pop the greeting across the bottom. Pop him in there. Or I could leave it without a greeting. Or we could get rid of the strips. Is it just me who spends more time doing this than colouring and making all the cards? So reverted to my original plan. He actually, because he's up on the foam tape, it gives himself a bit of a shadow so he doesn't get quite so lost on there. So I'm just going to go do the same thing on this red one. So to stick these together, I was just running a line of tape along that edge, just to be sure. A line of tape along that edge. You can do this with wet glue as well, of course. Just means you don't get anything oozing out if you use tape runner. And whichever looks like the neatest flap. And I think I put this one in the red envelope and this one in the green, just so that the contrast with the green, it's the wrong shade of green. So how's that for a use your craft stash? So I hadn't used my Slimline punch board. I'd never used this stencil before. I'd never used this stamp before. I had already stamped, sitting in my stash, leftover loads of these little Christmas greetings. This red and green card has been sitting in my stash for years, since my kids were making Christmas cards when they were little. And the 12 by 12 paper that I used to get the envelopes, they'd been in my stash again. I'd used loads of them. I've used them on 3D projects quite some years ago to make some Christmas decorations and things. But there we go. Use your craft stash. All stuff I'd not used before. Some stuff newer than others, I freely admit. And yeah, and it's a size of card that I don't make much. So there we go, little mini Slimline. So they're 6 by 3.5 inches. And using some lovely skull and crossbuns products, so both the elf and the elf legs are from her. So I'll link everything down below, and hope you enjoyed that. And I will see you again in another video very soon. Bye for now.